Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Comic Shop Talk Live, brought to you by Black Hat Comics and Rockin' Milpitas, your one-stop shop for all things superhero. Shop online at black-cat-comics.com. We're here keeping you connected to the comic book community. I'm Mark.
I'm Francie.
And we've got a great show for you today. It's another great week of books, lots of fun things to talk about.
Big stack.
Big stack. This is an interactive program. We want to know what you're reading, what you're looking forward to reading, what's at the top of your stack this week. Send us your questions, comments, queries, concerns, and we will address those issues promptly and professionally.
Issues, get it? It's a pun.
Get it? It is a pun. Comics loves being punny. Always like to start the show with a little comic shop news. What's going on in the world of comics on Earth 616. So this week, you all received a little freebie from DC Comics of all your future state previews. Hope you got into your shop, picked up your stuff this week, and checked out the cool previews. This is pretty much what DC's rolling out over the next couple of months, January, February, March, just the future state stuff. So wanted to give you a quick shout out.
Batman stuff.
Get a hold of this guy. Check out all the different things. Get excited about the next era of DC Comics. Get these things on your list, your sub list, so you don't miss them. You know I'm a big Superman guy, so I had to check out the Superman part.
I'm excited for a few things. I'm excited for Rom. Is it Rom V or Rom the Fifth? I don't know.
Rom 5
is writing Swamp Thing and Justice League Dark, and those look good. And then the woman who wrote Butcher of Paris for Dark Horse is writing Harley Quinn. And I really enjoyed her Butcher of Paris series. Very well researched and written. Stephanie Phillips, that's who she is. So yeah, there's a couple in here that I'm intrigued by.
I like right off the bat one that you said, Justice League Dark. I like that Justice League Dark continues because I love the new 52 run. I love the current run. Was just a neat thing to have in the DCU. The Justice League is a nice combination of the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and they always play nice with all the good guys. It's fun to have a darker, edgier Justice League book, and I'm happy to see that continue.
I'm with you, Daniel. I'm with you.
And so I'm happy that Justice League Dark continues. I'm also happy that it has a Legion of Superheroes thing. I'm not, frankly, the biggest Legion fan, but if you're going to have the DC Universe future, it has to include the Legion of Superheroes.
Why?
Well, because the Legion is the Justice League of the future.
Yeah.
The Legion is almost like Star Trek. The Legion is like a federation of superheroes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's multiple timelines, multiple dates that these stories run into, right?
Well, I think theoretically one timeline, but multiple dates, multiple points on the timeline. Yeah. So, yes.
So it's not all like 2050.
Right.
Some of them are taking place in the year 3000.
Right. Near future and far. Near future and far future.
I see. I see.
So, yeah, pick it up. It's free. Check it out. Read it cover to cover. I say there's coolness. You know, the internet will always say change is horrible and everything sucks and I don't want to read it. Don't be on that bandwagon. I'm always optimistic about big event things. In everything, there's going to be
some gems.
There's going to be some gems. There's going to be something that doesn't achieve greatness. There's going to be a little mediocrity, and there's going to be some really awesome stuff. And I'll tell you what always happens is that the bomb will not be the one you think, and the gem will not be the one you think. That's totally how these things go. So I always encourage folks, be optimistic. Check out the things that you would find interesting.
You're already reading Wonder Woman, get the Future State Wonder Woman. You're reading Batman, get the Future State Batman.
Yep. And if something looks cool, like the Swamp Thing one, grab it, check it out. Or trust that fan site that you like and check it out. Like Zatanna. I got to read anything Zatanna. So anyway, I'm excited about it. It's cool. I would admit I'm a little curious what happens in March, when all the regular books start back up again. But you know, like I say, I like to go along for a ride. They got all the little covers and titles in there for you. So
Good times.
you can't tell your comic book guy you weren't informed. So like I say, grab your freebie, read it cover to cover, get the things on your sub list you don't want to miss, and try some things out because it's going to be a lot of fun.
And everybody that had pickups and mail orders this week got one in their stash. So we'll keep giving them out until we run out.
Yeah, they sent us a ton of them. So if you got any kind of shipment, any pickup this week, next week, you'll probably still get them.
Good
so
times.
yeah, I already showed the Gladiator Superman thing. That's of course
I showed the Batman
probably
thing.
the one I'm most excited about. But yeah, lots of new character designs, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
In other comic shop news, though it's also kind of a comic, also wanted to mention something from the Hero Initiative. This is the Batman 100 project. The Hero Initiative is one of the greatest organizations on the face of the planet. What they do is they raise money and they give it to comic creators in need. Writers, artists, young folks, old folks, anybody in the industry who needs a helping hand.
Yes, Michael, we'll still have these for you next week. Don't you worry.
Don't you fret. I got one in your box. So the 100 Project and the Hero Initiative. As I say, the Hero Initiative is a really, really great organization, charitable organization that raises money for comic creators. Great folks like Gene Colan, and the list goes on and on and on. Please, please go to heroinitiative.com, hero singular, heroinitiative.com. Read about all the great work that they do, and if you got a couple extra bucks in your budget this week, pick up Batman 100 Project. Take a look at some of the other ones that they've done. I think we have a Captain America one, a couple others that they've done. So what is it? Basically, they sent Batman 75. I don't want to crack the spine too much on this book, but they sent blank cover Batman 75 to all kinds of artists. Those artists did something really cool, and they're publishing them in this book. It's a whole big book of artists doing Batman. 100 of them, the Batman 100 Project.
That's sequence.
I don't know. Probably.
Look like
Tony, Daniel, I mean, Art Adams. Every time I open a page, Danny Miki. Every time I open the page, it's another all-time. Liam Sharp, another all-time great in this book.
Like, if you can't go to conventions this year, you've got a pre-drawn book of artists.
Look at that.
Batman.
Look at that.
Gorgeous.
Super, super, super cool.
It's all reversed for you guys, sorry.
And all the money goes, like I say, to a great organization that helps out great people.
It's a great idea.
Can't say enough about the Hero Initiative. There are a few other groups like this, but the Hero Initiative seems to be the most organized and puts out really, really great product. It's getting to be December, so you will see me get on my Stan soapbox and start making all kinds of pitches to make the world a better place over the next few weeks. So I thought I would start this week with the Hero Initiative and the Batman 100 Project. So like I say, go to heroinitiative.com, read about all the great things that they do, all the great creators that they've helped over the years. And like I say, pick up this book or just donate directly to the organization or what have you, because sadly, comic creators, like a lot of artists, don't have insurance, spent their entire careers making not a lot of money, and not able to put a lot in the bank. And we owe these folks. And so kudos to the Hero Initiative for taking care of those people.
Yes, agreed.
All right. So that's my bit for comic shop news, and that's my feel-good story of the week.
Can we say Mandalorian?
Oh! Okay.
So good.
Who, admit it, fess up. Who's not watching Mandalorian? Who's not subscribed to Disney Plus and waiting with bated breath for the next episode of Mandalorian?
Last night was so good.
Yes, last night was that episode. The new episode is a life changer. You know I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You know I would overhype it anyway. But I think anybody would like this show. My sister watches it. She loves it. She doesn't know what
This isn't a spoiler, because if it is a spoiler, you've been like living underground for the last 5 weeks. Rosario Dawson was awesome sauce. I love her. We get
spoiler.
her Night Nurse. in Daredevil and Luke Cage. Yeah, she's just awesome. Love
She
her.
is awesome.
Love her.
Sin City, Kevin Smith movies. She's just great. She can do whatever she wants.
And girlfriend of Cory Booker.
Hey,
love Cory.
Well, and I really enjoy how The Mandalorian does a great job. And again, this isn't really a spoiler because they did it last season. It's all over the internet. They connect the whole thing. One of my favorite things about Solo, and one reason I really encouraged everybody to go see Solo, was because it dropped so many little Easter eggs about other Star Wars stuff, telling you that all this stuff actually happened in canon. That the stuff in the novels, the stuff in the video games, the stuff in the animated series, probably everything except the original Christmas special, is factual and canon. And like I say, seeing all these little things come together in Mandalorian,
Clone Wars,
is just a ton of fun.
Good. Okay, so one of the things top of my stack this week is the I was gonna say Batman Dark Metal. That's not right. That's not right. Dark Knight Death Metal. That's a tongue twister. Multiverse Batman Who Laughs. I put in the little Batman there. So this is a great. I really like this one. It's got I think 4 different stories in it. We get a story by Patton Oswalt, who writes a story on Victor Zsasz, which I like. We get the first story narrated by Robin King. I like that Robin King. He's a hoot. He's so evil.
He's a hoot.
I enjoy him. And then we get a Green Lantern story. And we get like all of the super animal stories.
The super pets?
Beppo and Crypto and Shrieky, they all get together and figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's a fun jaunt through the dark multiverse.
You said a Green Lantern story. Could you be more specific?
And Green Arrow. It's in the future. It's again, all of these are different multiverse scenarios. So they're not in canon. They're not in the universe that you're used to. And so it's basically Green Lantern teaming up with Green Arrow, and they're not on the same side. I'll just say that. Oh,
so it's old school. Hal and Ollie.
A little bit of that. Yeah.
There you go.
And they're older. They're not their young strapping selves. They got some gray.
There you go.
So yeah, that's fun.
Good times.
Good one.
I'll stay in the DC mode and in the Batman mode and talk a little Batman Beyond. Love me some Batman Beyond.
That's such a good show.
It was a great show, and DC has done a really good job with the different comic series. They did originally, there was like an all ages one that was more like the original animated series. Since then, they've incorporated him into the DCU proper, which is a lot of fun. And this latest series, what issue number is this? Almost up to number 50. The whole thing's been done by Dan Jurgens, one of my favorite writers, especially for DC stuff. You may know him from such episodes as Death of Superman and Booster Gold. And of course, Booster Gold's in this book because most books written by Dan Jurgens have Booster Gold in them. So this one's a lot of fun. This is the second part in the arc. So grab the one before this or just jump into this one. But I really dig it. It's fairly self-contained. But like I say, kind of ties into the overall DCU. As we've been saying with Future State and Legion and things, it is firmly entrenched in the future of the DC universe, as this book indicates. Like I say, Booster Gold pops up. I like things that are self-contained. I like things that have different versions of the characters and so that's fun. I love Booster Gold, so it's fun. And like I say, it's just been a really fun series. People read lots of Batman stuff. This tends to be one that gets not on the list of Batman readers, but it's really fun. And so check that out, Batman Beyond.
While we're talking about Batman, I love all things Sean Murphy. He's like my new favorite along with Tom Taylor. Those guys can do no wrong. I'm loving this book. I haven't read this one yet. This is only issue 2, but I read the first issue. This is the White Knight presents Harley Quinn, and it's basically her meeting meeting Joker for the first time in the Sean Murphy Curse of the White Knight universe. And it's great. It's got gangster feel. It's got this cool, punchy, modern art feel. I'll show you. I don't think there's any spoilers here. I just love his stuff.
It's a great style.
His stuff. So, I mean, he's not doing the art this time. There's somebody else doing the art, interior art, but he's writing it. But it's really good. Are you guys reading it? Who's reading it? Are you guys reading it? If not, add it to your stack. It's really good.
That's the
It's really
third
good.
series. There's the first one that explains the setup of the whole thing, of course.
Just White Knight.
Then Curse of the White Knight
Curse
is
of-
the second volume, which there's
Yes.
not a collection for yet. And
No.
now this is the third one.
Trace.
Good stuff.
It's good.
And I saw as a page you flipped, and I'll say this, and it's not a spoiler because he's on the B cover. It features the Gray Ghost. Speaking of Batman animated series stuff, I'm a huge fan
Love
of
the
the
Gray
Gray Ghost. There it was.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of anything voiced by Adam West, and so seeing, much like some of the things in Batman Beyond, seeing some of that carrying over into DC comic continuity is a lot of fun.
I like Harley. You know, she's such a rich character. You can go in so many different directions. I mean, that in combination with a couple weeks ago, we get this guy,
Oh yeah,
right? I mean, you can make her
Criminal Sanity.
comedic. You can make her an FBI profiler. You can make her. I mean, she's got a lot of range. She's very multi-dimensional. And so I love seeing the different writers and artists explore her because she's a fascinating character. She's way more than the Suicide Squad one-dimensional crazy. There's a lot more to Harley than that. So I like seeing the different takes that she's getting these days.
And I think that's part of what makes her character interesting is that on the surface, she's extremely one-dimensional. But it takes just a little bit of scratching to see this real depth in the character.
Yeah.
And like you say, there's all kinds of angles you can follow that makes it really interesting.
Jess, your
Good
turn.
stuff. I
Your
will
turn.
stay on the DC vein and talk about Action Comics. Never miss a chance to talk about Action Comics and the just so much fun I've had reading the Brian Michael Bendis run. A bunch of my subs added Superman when Bendis came on, and almost nobody has dropped it, and they're enjoying it as much as I have. I've been saying all along, and you've heard me say 20 times on the show, it is everything you want in comics and everything you want in superhero comics. It is 50% totally familiar and everything you want to see, and 50% brand new, fun and exciting. And his run is almost over. The next issue will be the last one. Everything in a lot of books is kind of all wrapping up before this future state stuff starts.
That's a tongue twister. Say that fast 3 times.
State stuff starts.
Can't do it.
So if for some reason you haven't taken my word for it, pick up volume 1 of Action or Superman, and it will suck you in and make you keep reading. Like I say, it's a little bit of what has always made Superman fun to read.
Do we know what Bendis is doing after? He's not mentioned, I don't think, in the future state stuff.
No.
Free agent?
No, he's under contract, so he'll be going somewhere. But yeah, Young Justice is ending. I think Legion is ending. He's leaving the Superbook, so I don't know what they have slated for him. But it's a ton of fun.
Batman.
And this one has he's going out with a bang. Let me just say that he's going out with some twists, some turns. He's already really shaken up the core of the Superman verse. And like I say, he's got a couple big changes to go before he leaves. And this features all kinds of different super characters, on and on and on. And I know some people aren't fans of John Romita Jr.
Stick to Spider-Man.
But I will say that it's been fun for me, and this page tells you absolutely nothing, so it's no spoiler, but just to show you his art, it kind of took me back to the fun I had reading his Spider-Man run. I grew up reading
look at the cover. Look at that cover.
The Hobgoblin Spider-Man stuff.
What the heck is going on there? What's happening? Proportions lost? What's
Well, just to say, Romita art to me feels very familiar. I've been reading his art all my life, and it was fun to read it on core titles like Spider-Man. It's fun to read it on core titles like Superman.
He's great on Spider-Man. But Clark Kent is not a scrawny Peter Parker, and he hasn't drawn him to look like a big dude.
That's true. I'll give you that. But it's fun, and it's got Brainiac. So anyway, like I say, he's only got one more issue to go. This is House of
Wow.
Kent Part 6. He's been at it for quite a while, since back at 1000. This is 1027. So
Years.
like I say, if you pick up those trade paperbacks and start reading, it will make you finish the run. It's been that fun.
You gotta put the pickup out.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
2:30. I got a couple of minutes. Oh, why don't I do that while you get on to the next book?
So Daniel, I'm with you, buddy. Top of my stack, Department of Truth, James Tinian, the fourth. So again, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, imagine if all of the weird, crazy conspiracy theories became true because enough people believed in them. Well, I haven't really gotten too far into the issue 3 today, but it looks like, so imagine if there was a conspiracy theory that said all of the mass school shootings were false. They were all fabricated. Well, if enough people thought that, then the mass shooting never took place. And that just blows your mind. So it's crazy. There's Department of Truth is like this like BPRD type FBI department that goes through. He's talking. Hear him? He's loud, right? You can still hear him. That's what I deal with every day. Him talking over me. So anyway, so this is a really great book. So the Department of Truth is kind of like a Men in Black FBI part of the department that tries to understand these conspiracy theories. And to be honest, I don't really understand their motivation yet, or how they're doing this, or what they're doing. But we're just kind of getting our feet wet with the story, and it's awesome. And the art's great. It's like kind of Ben Templesmith type of thing. It's got that feel, that Cal McDonald type feel, kind of sketchy art, kind of loose and jagged, and kind of watercolory, which I really like as well. So it's a great issue, great book. And if you like conspiracy theory, X-Files type stuff, alien, stuff, this is your book.
And if you haven't said it already, that's a good pitch for my usual bit of, if you like what he's doing with Batman, read his independent books. If you're following a creator,
Wind.
That one too.
Yeah.
If you like a creator, if you're following something that they do for one of the big two, they most likely have an Image book or a book from one of the other publishers. So it's worth tracking down and seeing. Like I say, if you like what they do with Batman, you'll probably like what they do with their creator-owned stuff.
Your turn.
Good fun. All right. So this week had a lot of my favorites. This is Dr. Doom number 9. What a great cover.
It's awesome.
I love me some Victor Von Doom. And
your Halloween story was awesome this year, by the way.
Thanks. That was Darth Vader, but
you've done one with Doom before.
Maybe. I think so. He's a great character, classic. Everybody knows Doom. I love this series because it's a villain with his own book that, how can you say, that makes him the hero of the story, but doesn't make him a hero. Dr. Doom is the hero of the story because only Doom can achieve what needs to be done. But Doom ain't no hero. And this book shows you. It has a brilliant little exchange between him and Reed Richards. And it's awesome because it's awesome because these two guys hate each other, and yet they both try and like take the high road, and so they're both just like speaking with disdain, and I don't know, it's just awesome. The writer does a great job of keeping Doom's I don't even know what the word is, his horrible personality completely intact, his monstrous ego, that's basically it. Doom has never been evil. Doom is he's just the biggest jerk in the world, and wants to prove to each and every person on Earth that he's 1,000 times better than that idiot Richards. And he's finally realized that he can't really do that as the villain. He can only do that as the hero. He can only prove that he's better than Richards by saving the world in ways that Richards can't. And that's kind of what this book is about. And it's just been a ton of fun to read. It's not dark and heavy as you might expect a villain book to be. He's trying to be the good guy. If you read the one where he was Iron Man, infamous Iron Man. It's a little like that. It's Doom trying to be a hero in a world where people know that he's Doctor Doom. And so anyway, it's a really fun read. Here's that dialogue between him and Richards. It's sort of like watching two British people argue. It's really fun. And like I say, it's not. I don't know, like it's not some huge event book with all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It's mostly a lot of just Doom thinking and talking. But it's a great character analysis. You see appearances by characters like Kang and stuff. I go on and on. Pick up the first issue, much like it's about Action Comics. This is issue 9. Pick up the first trade or just pick up the first issue. If you read the first issue, you'll be like, oh, Kazi's right. This book's fun. If you read the first trade, it will definitely
It'll hook you.
It will hook you.
Stick its tentacles into you.
And if you're any kind of Fantastic Four fan, you need to read this book. And I don't know, it was just a whole lot of fun.
So moving on to the horror, and your hat's kind of scaring me right now because it's very trucker hat.
Yeah, convoy.
Which is it's got the netting on the side.
Yeah.
So, which is a perfect.
You got to do a bonus
segue.
Style.
No, it's so not good. So Devil's Highway. This is the last issue of a 5-issue series. I hope we get more. It's so good. Trucker serial killer network. This woman's trying to find out who murdered her dad and stumbles into the world of this horrible serial killing trucking network. I just said it. And so this is a wrap up of her kicking some butt. She's badass Army, Navy SEAL type level soldier who has never fit in as a civilian. And now she's using those skills to hunt down the killer of her father, who happens to be a terrible, awful, gross serial killer trucker. So excited to see her give him the what for.
Yeah.
In the last one.
It's 5 of 5. There will probably be a Devil's Highway 2.
I hope so. It's good.
AWA's been getting a lot of attention. AWA, what is
Devil's Highway.
Is
the name of the book. No, Michael's asking.
American Writers Association.
Artist Writers
Association. AWA. They got top talent at this company. And a little like we've been talking about Aftershock and different things.
Axel's in charge.
If you're looking for something outside the usual superhero stuff,
super creepy.
Find an AWA book because they're doing horror, they're doing sci-fi, they're doing all kinds of things.
Mysteries.
Outside of the capes.
Yeah.
This one, Resistance, of course, because that's J. Michael Straczynski. Was it Year Zero?
Yeah.
Year Zero is another like fresh out of the gate hit that they have. American Ronin. So like I say, if you're looking for something outside the capes, AWA probably has a book you'll like.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And I like the art too. Let me give you guys a little glimpse of the art. Yeah, that's fun. No, I can't show that one. I can't really show too much.
Not kid appropriate.
Not at all. This one looks okay.
You show the first page.
First page. Give you a little close up there. So it's good art. I'm not a huge fan of the coloring, but I do like the art and the story is awesome. Benjamin Percy is the writer for that.
Devil's Highway. It's a good week for the indies. After I got a couple indies a little later. My next bit, much like Action or Captain America, a book that you knew when it came out this week that I would be talking about it on Saturday. Speaking of a book that Bendis did a masterful run.
Loved his run.
Well, which is something I always say about Daredevil, much like Fantastic Four. Marvel has had their top talent on Daredevil for as long as I can remember. It was Charles Soule, and then before that was Mark Waid, before that was Ed Brubaker, and before that was Bendis.
Kevin Smith.
And then the Kevin Smith run, and the artists go the same way. You can go as far back as you want with Daredevil, and you will love those runs, or you can just pick up this latest issue.
What's up, Arnell?
Again, a little like I've been saying about different Marvel books, particularly Amazing Spider-Man, Daredevil, and a little bit like Action, to be honest. Daredevil is it just embraces everything that you love about Daredevil. It's not trying to reinvent anything. It's not trying to show you something you've never seen before. It's trying to show you the very best of what you know and expect from this book. When you see Matt and Foggy interrelate, it's very clear these are guys that have known each other for a long, long time. When you see Daredevil and Kingpin interacting, it's very clear that these are guys that have been punching each other in the face for a long, long time. Like I say, it embraces the history of the characters, the history of New York City, all the things that have gone on. One thing I really like about it, because it's something, and again, in a broader sense, Amazing Spider-Man is doing this, Avengers is doing this. For too long, comics has gotten into this concept where the first issue of the arc is only for new readers, and you jump in and all the other stuff hasn't happened. It's only this story. And I get that, and that's cool. It's fun. As I say, I like self-contained things. I like things that begin and end. But there's something to be said for the accrued history. Yeah. These characters have been through things together, highs and lows, battles and parties and all these kind of things. These people have been friends and enemies for a long, long time. And so they can't just meet up all the time like they've never met before. Right. They can't run into each other and have conversations as if they barely know each other. That's just not, I don't know. It's just more fun and a little more realistic when you feel that history, when you feel, and it's not, continuity is not a burden. It's just like I say, it's just it adds to the depth and the personality of these characters. And Marvel has really embraced that lately. And Daredevil's kind of always been that book. And so I've always enjoyed Daredevil, and it's been top of my stack, for the last year or so, 2 years maybe. Because for that reason, like I say, just because if you are a longtime fan, you feel like you've been along for this ride, and it's a really good payoff.
No greater friendship than Matt and Foggy.
That's the truth. I've always said Foggy's one of the best sidekicks in comics.
Foggy's awesome.
He doesn't, have a suit, and he doesn't fight villains. But in a lot of ways, he does fight villains, and he saves Matt's butt 1,000 times. 20-year-old spoiler: Foggy has faked his own death to help Matt Murdock, and so their relationship is really, really important. That is just such a spoilerific page; it's ridiculous.
Can't show that. Can't show that.
Can't show that one. But here's Matt jumping off a rooftop. So. Anywho, like I say, Daredevil, again, a little like other publishers. If you're just looking for something to jump into different from what you've been reading, you can always pick up the latest issue of Daredevil and just go.
Thor's been pretty good too.
Thor's one of the best books Marvel does.
Do you have to put out another stack?
I do in about 5 minutes. We're crazy with pickups today. We love it when you guys book those curbside.
So, Monstrous Talk Stories. This is going to be a mini, just one of the first of 2 little minis. So these are kind of side stories of what's happening in the universe, kind of parallel to the main story that's taking place. Haven't read it yet. Don't know what it's about, but it's the same artist and writer team. And I'm looking forward to diving in. So if you want a little fantasy action, meets horror, meets you miss some Neil Gaiman type universes, Monstrous is a great book for that. It's kind of manga-ish, so if that turns you off, then you might not like the style, but it's not real blatant anime manga style. It's a little bit, it's its own style, really.
It's a little more so than the regular. That's not the regular artist, is it?
Yeah, it's the same team.
It seems
Sana Takeda.
A little more anime than the main book tends to.
Same.
Well, there you go.
Same people.
So I think the art's gorgeous.
Eisner winners.
Yes,
both.
Multiple Eisner winners.
Super nice.
And it totally deserves it. Number one, it has some of the best art in comics. And as you say, it's a little stylized and may not be for everybody, but I think it's gorgeous. Number 2 is fantasy. There's just not enough pure fantasy in comics.
Stuff in there. It borders fantasy and horror. It's pretty. It's not like, yay, kids hanging out in a new universe. No, there's some messed up stuff that takes place.
Super. Everybody should pick
Super.
up Volume 1. Volume 1. There's a
It's good,
reason
yeah.
it won multiple Eisners.
It's really, really
and
good.
it's I don't just different from everything else out there. Even if a book might not be for me personally, I like to check out stuff when it's something clearly totally different from anything else out there, and that definitely rates.
Trying to think of like what to compare it to. It's kind of like The Dark Crystal in a way, and that there's some weird, messed up stuff that happens, and yeah.
Dark Crystal, like some high praise.
Yeah. One of my faves.
I'm going to give a quick pitch and then put the next pickup out while you talk about a book. But this is your latest issue of Spawn. Another book I love to talk up. What is it now? 312 issues of Spawn. Super fun. I mentioned this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to give Todd a bit of a shout out. Not like he needs help from me, but he's been doing a lot to support comic shops. He's been doing a lot things like returnability on Spawn issues, extra free overship of issues and different things. He's really gone above and beyond to support comics and support the comics industry. So I'm reminding everybody that Spawn's as great as it ever was. Totally belongs on your list. You'll note as I think about a lot of the things I talk about, again, self-contained. If you only have $4 a month, you can buy Spawn and still have money left for candy because it's still only $2.99. One of the only books I can think of that is $2.99, and he doesn't do that like hit you with double-sized issues all the time. It's pretty consistently a $2.99 cover price. Always has some of the best art and stories in comics. So like I say, if for whatever reason, it's 2020, so if times are tough, you can find $4 in a month. You can find $1 a week and get yourself a copy of Spawn, and it will be worth it. And
we sold out of it, but the local comic shop day book had all of, I didn't see our name on there, Todd, but it had a bunch of comic book stores' names on the front and the back, which I thought was really, really cool.
I think we are not technically signed up for local comic shop day. I think local comic shop day, that's why we weren't on the cover. I assume we weren't.
We skipped a lot of things.
Boy, I poured over that title looking for me, but we weren't on.
But that was really cool. But
it's extremely cool. Again, helping out shops, get their names out there. It was fun to read all the names of the shops. And anyway, like I say, Spawn is still really good. And much like a lot of things, if you used to be a fan, just grab the latest issue and jump in. Sure, it's Cult of Omega Part 2. So what? Jump in at Part 2.
So go ahead and put the curbside thing out.
Okay.
So if you want a good Spawn story, you should listen to last night's Kazi's Classics, because he talked about Spawn #9, which we sold last night, and the whole origin of Neil Gaiman and kind of our relationship in Spawn #9. It's a really good story. So if you want to learn more about Spawn and a little bit more about Kazi and I, listen to Kazi's Classics from last night.
I'm gonna cut you off because you brought up Kazi's Classics. So yes, last night we did the Thanksgiving version of Kazi's Classics. Check it out on YouTube and Facebook. We talked about all kinds of books. Like she said, we talked about Spawn #9. It's a lovely story. You should totally check it out. I'm not going to retell the story because I want you to go back and watch the show. But I am going to mention this guy that I had on the show last night that nobody picked up, that somebody needs to pick up this book. This is, as you can see there, though you may have to read it backwards, Marvel and DC presents X-Men and Teen Titans. This is... it's super rare. You don't see a lot of Marvel DC mashups. This book was huger than huge when I was a kid back in the day. I think it's like 1980, 1981. Dark Phoenix. On and on I could go. I go into it on the show. You can read all about it, but it's still available if you go to black-cat-comics.com, click on shop, click on Kazi's Classics. It's $25. It's totally worth it. You don't see this book in trade paperback. It's a beautiful copy. Walt Simonson art. X-Men and Teen Titans teaming up, on and on and on I could go. But I wanted to give this book another shout out, and I wanted to encourage you guys, if you might have missed it, to check out Kazi's Classics live. Okay.
So that's okay. Last on my list was The Other History of the DC Universe. And so this is a prestige format, black label book. And this particular one goes more in depth into the origin story of Black Lightning, which I'm not that familiar with. So I'm excited to dive into this myself. But the art in here is phenomenal. And I wanted to show you one particular page. I think there's going to be 3 different issues. Each issue is going to go into origin stories in more depth to, like, you know, the B and C characters, those that we're not that familiar with. So the first one is Black Lightning, and I can't remember, Kara or somebody is going to be the second issue. But let me find that one. Yeah, this one. Look at that art. Isn't that amazing? Love the color, so vibrant. It's got kind of that 80s feel. I'll show you another one. So well worth, I mean, look at all the script. You're gonna be reading this for a while. Lots of dialogue.
I love
Great
comics
art.
that require reading.
So it's more of like a graphic novel with art on the side, and then not really word balloons, but you get the gist. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one.
Other history of the DCU. It's got a lot of press. It's been getting a lot of attention lately. I think it's something people definitely want to give a try to. I like the big format. People tend to not like the oversized format just because you got to get a magazine box to store them. But I like more room for the art.
And it's written by John Ridley, who I believe is the Future State Batman writer.
There you go.
Let me see.
Give you a little taste of what's coming in Future State.
Yeah, I think so. I might be wrong, but if memory serves, it's the same dude.
I think it's the idea is that he's telling you the history of the DCU from the Black perspective.
Cool.
I think that's somewhat, at least the premise of that issue. I don't know if that's the premise of the whole series.
Cool. Well, it looks good. I'm excited to read it. So I'm just looking at the Batman thing. So what do you got? What's last on your list?
Last on my list, because as I said a few weeks ago, it was kind of 90s week. I got my Spawn, and that was awesome. And then I got a new issue of X-O Manowar. This is X-O Manowar 2020, number 2, the third big run of X-O Manowar. And I just love X-O. I loved X-O back in the original Valiant days. I've loved the previous run that Valiant did. And now they've started up another one, and it's just tons of fun. Valiant does a great job of, they've captured the essence of original Valiant, but these characters are totally new and totally different. It's not that world relaunched. It's a new world and new versions of these characters that have kind of the same feel and flavor of the ones that you remembered. Hey, look at that.
Yep.
Academy Award winner.
Yep.
And I love X-O. He's Conan the Barbarian in a Iron Man suit is pretty much the gist, and that makes it fun and makes it cool. It's kind of just that. It's a little bit barbarian adventure, a little bit science fiction, a little bit crime fiction. And of course it's Valiant, so it's one part of a bigger universe. It's only the second issue. Valiant has been sort of trickling out stuff since the whole COVID thing, for a number of reasons. You know, everybody's got their logistical challenges, but I think it's also just sort of their part of keeping things easy for retailers, keeping things easy for the fans. One book a week, one book every other week, so they're not inundating you with their titles. But check out X-O, pick up the first issue, grab this second issue. You should also check out Rye. Rye is one of the best science fiction comics out there, one of the best science fiction comics I've read in a long time. They, of course, do lots of other books that I like to talk up. But
movie coming out or something.
Bloodshot came and went. I guess that's huge in the streaming thing. And ideally, the Rye movie will come out of Bloodshot. But we'll see how that goes. So X-O Manowar, like I say, it was just fun to get X-O, because it's been a long time. Number 1 came out quite a while ago. And the space between the last series ended in that number 1 was a long time. So I've been waiting for my X-O Manowar. And I check out, like I say, check out EXO, check out a lot of the other Valiant stuff. They do a whole range of things.
Show some art.
And it's a neat genre fusion, like I say, of like crime fiction and superheroes. They don't do a lot of horror superhero stuff, but
More science fiction.
Yeah, a lot of science fiction, action, adventure. Like I say, good barbarian action. I always liked EXO Manowar. Good stuff. It's a good week
So
for
what do you
all
guys
those
got?
side
What's the top of your
publishers.
stack this week besides Department of Truth?
Yeah, as
Top of
we
your stack.
begin to wrap things up,
Wrapping it up.
you can let us know what you're reading, what you're looking forward to reading, what's at the top of your stack.
So we should talk about some things happening this week. So local comic shop day. Should we talk about that?
Sure. Small Business Saturday,
Yes, today.
local comic shop day.
Yes.
Is also, I think, technically today. Though I think it's kind of this week.
It's the all week. So we just have a couple of local comics. So if you look on our website for LCSD, you'll see just a couple of issues. Like there's a version of Spawn that I think we sold out of. There's a version of the other History of the DCU that's local comic shop day. It's cover price. It's just to help promote. They're just different variant covers to help promote people to go to their local comic book store to get their comics. They're rare, so you can't get those covers outside of a direct market retailer.
There you go. And we, of course, always appreciate different groups doing things to motivate folks to support their local comic store.
Highlight the retailer.
And especially this year, you know, we couldn't do Free Comic Day like we usually do. We're not doing local comic shop day like we usually do.
Or Small Business Saturday.
Or Small Business Saturday like we usually do. Do you want to tell people?
Yes, what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So on our website for our online store, if you spend $100 or more, you can use the code THANK20, so THANK20, and get 25% off your entire order. And we're still doing free shipping on orders $25 or more. I've got a bunch of gift ideas for $25 and under, and stocking stuffers for $5 and under. So lots of different things you can peruse at your leisure.
There you go.
And the code lasts, the THANK20 code lasts until Monday the 30th at midnight. So you've got through this weekend and Cyber Monday to pick up all of your goodies.
There you go. Like this especially cool Batman figure that just came in today. You know,
if you're still watching,
Christmas is a time for buying toys. Like that one, or the Ahsoka figure that I mentioned. I think everybody needs an Ahsoka figure.
A lot of really cool action figures. I've been working really hard to put all the action figures and statues that we have on our online store. So just take a look at them. They're just awesome.
In fact, let me give you a quick plug. And this isn't really a plug. I'm not selling you anything. I'm giving you a great gift idea for yourself and for others. Batman Black and White. There's Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. Hang on one second, YouTube folks. There you go, YouTube folks. Batman Black and White. So they're like $4.99, little stocking stuffer deals. So they're mystery packs. See if I can get way up close. One of these figures is in the pack. One of these figures is in the pack. Obviously, Series 1, 2, 3 have different figures. Everybody loves Batman. What they did, Batman Black and White, is a series of statues by the top artists in the business. Watch an old man struggle to read. Dick Sprang, Frank Whiteley, Amanda Connor, Darwin Cook. Let's see, Mike Mignola. Anyway, so they all made these really awesome statues. These statues were expensive and they all sold out. So they made these cool little PVC sets and they randomized them. So you can pick up one from Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, drop them in your friend's stocking, give them to that person at work, give them to whoever, buy them for yourself. And they come with little cool Batman PVCs. And like I say, everybody loves Batman. You can't go wrong. Whoever you get, if you get the Dick Sprang one, you're going to be stoked. If you get the Darwin Cook one, you're going to be even more stoked. There's mystery ones like Harley and the Joker for $5. Cool little Batman thing. I don't know. I think they're really fun.
You can show the one up top.
Oh, there you go. And I think that is the Darwin Cook one.
Yeah.
This was the sample one. There we
And
go.
there is a Batman black and white series coming very soon as well.
Next week or
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Soon-ish.
So just cool little PVCs. Like I say, everybody loves Batman. You got $5. It makes a great little gift.
You know what else is coming up
What's that?
next week?
What's that?
Tom King's Batman Catwoman.
Oh, Batman Catwoman is next week.
Yes. I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait. Can't wait
Yeah.
for another Tom King book. So we get Rorschach,
It's a big Batman week,
Strange
actually.
Adventures, and not next week, but just we've got 3 active
we get-
titles of Tom King. I'm very excited
But we
about
get
it.
2 of them. You do get 2 of them
You
next
do get
week. You
Strange
get Batman
Adventures
and Catwoman. You get Strange Adventures. You get Batman 104. It's big Batman week next week.
Very happy
Good
about
stuff. So make sure you tune in Wednesday, 9 a.m. Check the new comic video where I show you all the fun stuff that's out for the week. Read the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter if you're not already getting it, because it's got news and reviews of all the fun stuff every week. When you get the newsletter, you know the site's live, so you can go and pick up all the books that you saw in the video. Then you get your curbside or get them shipped out to you. You read your books, and then you tune in Saturday for Comic Shop Live. And we hang out and talk about all your favorite books.
Comics.
It's good times.
Can we just say, because it's Thanksgiving weekend, how thankful we are for you guys, your support and your appreciation and your
Participation
patience and your all of it. Just thanks. We're so grateful. We wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
We're thankful to be here. We're thankful that you are here with us.
We're thankful for comics.
And yes, a quick look if there's anything I missed. X of Swords wrapped up this week, so check out all 22 parts of X of Swords as well.
No, there's still some coming next week.
Yeah, but
Hellions and
Destruction was part 22 of 22, so now everything else is
like
the aftermath. Comics loves aftermath. Good times. Well, like she said, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us this crazy year. Let's get ready for a wonderful holiday season and have some fun reading comics. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye, guys. Thanks.